Just out here working on, the white car. I don't know if somebody welded most of this stuff together with a coat hanger, but that's what it looks like. Not the cage work, but, well, this, if you can see this. Yeah, I think maybe they used a blow dryer and a coat hanger. I don't know. But I've been ground these lips down that they left because I'm going to have to make plates to go over this. This already had a plate, but I'm going to weld that up. Everything will get seam sealed, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But I can't deal with that. No. So, yeah, I got a few more spots over there to grind. Should have remembered earplugs. I didn't remember earplugs. It's kind of loud, and I should know better. So I've at least had my respirator and safety glasses on while I've been doing it. So, yeah, because let me take you in a little closer here. I mean, if that doesn't look like a blow dryer and a coat hanger did that, I don't know what. Yeah, I know this don't look pretty, but I'm going to re-weld that. Over there, I got to make a patch because you can't have an open hole. Got to make some patches for there, make a patch for there. There we got a crazy dog. I got some steel to mount the seat. So if the weather cooperates this weekend, hopefully I'll get all of that done. I also got a little bit of steel from work, old door skins, because I know I need to make it to our metal supply place we have here in town and see how much a 4x8 sheet of like some 16 gauge or something. It don't need to be super thick, but to do up and over the wheel tubs, make a firewall from the trunk to the back because the fuel cell is going to be in the back. I mean, I could do it up front. I mean, that is an option. Before I order a fuel cell, maybe we'll see if that's an option, because this thing's going to be only a track car. So my plan is to run on an E85. So what do I need? Maybe 3 gallons on board. So I mean, I guess it could go up in front here. The turb ski is going to go here. We got the motor. I got a different set of mounts. This motor I'm going to use for mocking everything up. It did have this clamshell, the standard mount. But I got those mounts that I've had forever, and then I bought these. Say they're for a small block 67 Chevelle. These, nor the standard rubber mount there, will line up with any... I shouldn't say won't line up with any hole, because that's a lie. The rubber ones will line up here, where a standard big block would go in this car, or a small block. I thought a genius idea would be that this mount, I'm like, well, maybe that's what they made this hole for. Wrong. These don't line up either. So my plan is bolt these on the engine, set the engine in here, see where it lands, because I can flip these so it'll set the engine. Sorry if we're getting all weird here on you. So I can flip that so that the engine sits back, but that might be way too far back. So I think this mount, now it won't stay that I took all the damn paint off the thing. Yeah, I got all my grinders out here, been just grinding full. So I think this mount, stay. God, what a nightmare. Thought we sold the nightmare car. We're back. So I think that mount in that hole should set the motor pretty decent. I haven't done any measurements yet, but seeing how far forward that mount sits compared to that mount, that mount, that mount. Stick with me here, guys. That, in theory, if that puts number one cylinder right about here, that'll put it a little south, or here, sorry. That'll put number one a little bit south of the ball joint, which is fine, because this car is trying to go in a straight line. This car ain't going to turn. Be lucky if it can make the turn at the shutdown. Still got to fill that hole over there. But, yeah, so I think that'll work, and that, no matter what, will be at least probably, because like I said, here, for reference, that is where that mount, well, it fell. Here's where that mount would go. So, I mean, we're going to be at least 2 inches farther back. And here's the other thing, too. I still haven't decided what trans I'm going to go with. I have this 4L80. I would really like a Turbo 400. Just because I think it's going to be easier. Yeah, I can do the, you know, sloppy manual shift on this, the manual trans brake. But a converter is going to cost me $500 to $800 when I've already got a converter here for a 400 that I could use to at least get in the car and get the car going. But back to what I was going, I've got a couple drive shafts laying down there. I know it's kind of hard because I don't have the pinion in the car, but I would like to be not lazy, but lazy and not have to buy a drive shaft. At least to get the thing, you know, a roller with the motor going. Because, like I said, it's going to cost me enough money. And now I think I have fully committed to going Holley Terminator X. Just because, as you see here, we had my harness laid out. To make this work, yeah, it's easy. But with all the new crap that I see has been going on with HP tuners, seems like you don't have the freedom you used to have to be able to disable O2 sensors and all this. I could be completely wrong, but either way, to buy HP tuners, to get the setup I want, to buy a brand new one, say minimum $500. Plus you got to buy credits. Plus, I need a laptop now to operate it, which I need a laptop no matter what to even operate the Holley. But the Holley, I can put in the car. It's got all my gauges. It's got everything. So now, I don't have to buy more gauges. I don't have to buy, I mean, it's consolidating so much stuff. It's got boost control. Yeah, I've been looking into it. You got to buy a couple sensors to put onto your wastegate. To know the dome pressure in the wastegate, it uses dome pressure along with map pressure. You know, the manifold absolute pressure uses both of those to boost control. I can boost by speed, boost by gear, boost by, you know, time. I'm thinking time. Hopefully this car with the tires it's got on it, which it'll have new tires when it comes out, but hopefully this thing, if I'm putting 12 pounds, 14 pounds, I should damn near be able to leave on 12 or 14 pounds right out the hole and never bat an eye with the thing. So, definitely trying to save up some pennies here. I'm going to start selling some of this stuff, so if anybody needs Fiero parts, I got a set of really nice taillights, some headlight covers. I need to get all that stuff on eBay. The chairs are not for sale. They are mint, but those are being turned into seats for my basement. Yeah, see, there's more 4L80 stuff. So, and if you guys don't remember, yeah, see, these are all other parts I have for sale that were takeoffs of cars from where I work that have blemishes in them. We put new parts on the car, and those were just gonna get tossed. So all that stuff's got to get up on eBay. These are all lights from the Suburban, and then from my dad's truck. He just changed out his, I changed out mine, so I've got a plethora of those. Hiding over here. Here is Mr. BorgWarner. That is the turbo we are using. That is a S475 off of a Greyhound bus. Legit. That is the turbo that would have fed the supercharger off a Greyhound bus. I'll throw a picture in here because I just found one for sale. The whole setup actually. Turbo, supercharger, everything. I don't need it, but it would be cool. So that turbo, that motor, that car, hopefully we can, you know, at least get into the 15s or something. It's got to be good for going 15s. But yeah, it's all my plethora of junk. Bunch of small block Chevy stuff from when I used to play with that. That's all going to be up for sale here real soon. It's all our piping we're going to use for a hot side. It's all 2 1/4. Because my thought, since this thing is only a 4.8, the 2 1/4 should get the air velocity up. And, you know, if you get the airspeed up, it should help spin that, because that's got a huge exhaust side. Because that thing is meant for, I think it's 8-liter diesel or something along them lines. It's off a like 871 setup from a Greyhound bus off an MCI bus. So yeah, should make back pressure should never be an issue. But I got to get it to spin. So for now, we're gonna have a 4.8 in the car. It'll be easier to get it to spin with 2 1/4 piping. Once the piping becomes a restriction, we'll change it. But I'm gonna order up some V-bands here probably this weekend, because I want to get that motor stuffed in here. I want to get the turbo mounted. I want to make the hot side. You know that old saying, gotta strike while the iron's hot. I've been ambitious, but man, it has done nothing but rain here in Illinois. The last like week. Every day I come home and I'm actually ambitious and don't feel like I was hit by a truck. It's pouring rain. Right now, it's like 50 degrees out. That's why I'm wearing a sweater. I feel like a fool. But it is October. So I'm going to continue to work on this. You guys continue to watch. Alright, so I've gotten way over ambitious, or just the right amount of ambitious. Doing some measuring. I'm going to stuff this thing in here right now. Watch me fail or win. Who are you voting for? My plan is to leave this on here because I can. No, but honestly, well, of course it would turn something like that. That ain't gonna work. My theory kind of with leaving the engine stand mount on it is if that can fit, the trans should fit. Picked over Yahweh. Well, I don't know if these mounts are going to work. We're getting close to making something happen. Just nothing's happening yet. So, this side, kind of far off from the hole, and you can see the block is hitting the mount. And the pan is resting on the frame. This side, the front is kind of lined up. Block your pan is not on the frame. So I think this mount contraption I got going is not what's gonna work. So we're back to plan 3 here. I think I'm gonna try the other clamshells I had. Put the mount on the block, put that mount that's staying on the firewall onto the mount, lay it in here, put the motor where I want it, and tack the mount, you know, tack weld it in. I just got a real thing, I don't like welding in a motor mount. It kind of seems wrong to me, especially a rubber mount like what I got to work with. But I mean, spacing wise, this would be nice to work on. Be able to get right back to your trans bolts. Have plenty of room for the bell housing. So I think where this motor is sitting is where I'm gonna want it to sit. Yeah, I mean, look at, if you can see down inside there, the block and the pan are hitting the bottom of them plates that they welded on to extend it. So I just, I'm gonna cut all that crap off. So yeah, it's cool the firewall's back, because that'll get, like I said, look at, here is the middle of the ball joint. You know, where it's back, because normally, you know, you would damn near be here, would be here. So that'll give us plenty of room to put a turbo in here. And then we've still got front end that comes out to here. So yeah, that's kind of what we're working with. It's not exactly what I wanted. I was hoping, because I did some rough measurements and I'm like, yeah, that might work. It ain't working. This motor will be installed by the end of the weekend. Has to be. Alright, so we're back. Day 47. Still haven't got the thing in the car. For some reason last night I stopped when it was dark. Well, I know why I stopped, because it was dark. I can't get the mounts to go in the frame where they belong. I've changed everything now twice to completely different mount setups. I think I'm going to try bolting the mounts to the frame, try and lower the engine in, see if that gets me anywhere. Because I'm just not having luck. Just not. There we got our shop helper today. Little Shelby, dressed in her finest moose sweater because it's cold out here. But decided to put the motor and trans together. Yeah, I don't know if I'm using this trans yet, but it's a 4L80. Essentially kind of sort of the same dimensions as a 400. At least really close. The mount on a 400, I believe, is forward, like, we'll just say 2 inches. So this I can at least set in there and get a better idea of how far back I can go, because I don't know why I can't make any of these mounts I have work. Nothing wants to just bolt in, because those mounts there are the standard small block, big block mounts that should go in these holes. the mounts will go in the holes, but the engine won't go on the mounts with the mounts in the holes. So I don't know what functionation I got going on, but I'm going to clean up the rest of this frame rail with the wire wheel. So I got some bare metal. I'm going to clean up those mounts with the wire wheel. So I got some bare metal. Set this whole contraption in there. Get it centered. I got the trans cross member laying under there. Get it at a decent angle. And I'm going to buzz those mounts in with the welder. And then assess the situation a little more. I might drill them, I might just leave them welded on. I don't know, I want the motor in the car, I want to start. Yeah, I didn't finish any of the firewall yet, but like I said before, you got to strike while the iron's hot. Got the ambition to get the thing in here, I want to get it in here. I'm going to order up all my V-bands and stuff today. I got to dig my manifolds out of the attic up there. And I want to start making the hot side. I've only got limited time. It's supposed to start raining here today. I know it looks good now, but we're supposed to have rain. So watch me struggle and get this in here. So back in the car again for the 17th time, 32nd time. Tell you what, from what I'm looking at here, them doing whatever they wanted to do, setting this motor back, I don't see it really helping, because I mean, where the motor is sitting isn't much farther back than I had it. It may be a little bit, but it ain't too much farther back than I had it sitting in the other car. So I don't know if I want to go back anymore. I mean, really, it doesn't. It's kind of a non-issue, you know. I'm not. This thing's got such a big tire on it, and gonna have a big tire on it, that I don't think it matters that the motor is set back. This isn't 1970 anymore. I don't know if we can see. It looks like it's in there pretty even. Got the jack underneath the trans right now. I'm going to try and get underneath it and throw the cross member under there and see where that gets me, if it'll even fit. And then I'm going to tack them motor mounts in place, you know, once I feel like everything is where I want it, because nothing will bolt in the way I want it. They look even now, pretty close at least. So as long as I've got a straight shot to the rear end, and you know, no, it ain't sticking out. There's the cross member. So give me a minute here. Let me get myself situated. We'll see if we're gonna move it back anymore. All right, so we got our angle finder here, and if we can find the angle. So we got our angle finder here. In the camera, it looks like it shows almost 5. Looking at it, it's about 3.5, almost 4 down, which I think will work out fine. You know, we're not trying to set no land speed records here. I don't know why nothing's focusing. For some reason, I think just because of the way this car is set up, looks like the engine is angled that way in the rear, but it absolutely can't be. Let's see what angle we're at here. We should be pretty damn close to 0. I'm gonna call that 0. So this is gonna be the home for the engine. I'm gonna bring the welder out right now. I'm gonna put a tack across the top of each one of those mounts. Pull the whole thing back out, and probably just maybe I'll just put a few more tacks on them just in case things need to change, because this 4L80 like really will not fit inside this trans tunnel, so I'm not reinventing that wheel. I think the car will get a Turbo 400 or a Power Glide. I would like a Power Glide, but So we got to refilm this again because of the love of the iPhone life, and yeah, it just deleted my whole video because it said I didn't have enough storage when it just downloads whatever the hell it wants. Anyways, enough of a rant. So we got this thing sitting, I just wiggled it, but we're at 0 degrees that way. It's at 3 degrees down, so I think that'll make for a nice pinion, because usually you do the rear end 3 degrees up, engine 3 degrees down. It gets you where you need to be. It's centered in there enough, so I'm going to go ahead and tack these mounts in. We'll bust the welder out and tack them in. We are definitely not going to run this 4L80 because it does not fit in this tunnel at all. I'm not sure what the issue is. I think part of it is the way the trans cross member is, and it's funny, even though they raised the floor and did all this stupid crap that I wish the person never would have done, it's not helping for fitment of anything. And I'm personally not even utilizing it. I only moved the motor back maybe an inch from where it originally would have been, so it's kind of a mute point that they did all of this wasteful work that I'm just gonna have to do something with to make it something. I mean, it'll be nice, you got all the room around the trans and everything, but we're gonna have to get these tacked in. I'll set a set of heads on it, and hopefully the manifolds will clear the steering, clear the frame, and then it'll be time to make a turbo fit somewhere. Alright, we got our handy dandy snap-on welder here. I'm gonna fire her up, we're gonna weld some shit. So as you can see, I mean, those are kind of almost welds more than tacks, but I don't want the thing moving around on me. Same thing over here. Yeah, I know, I got push rods holding the thing in there. It's quality. So now it's kind of sort of mounted. I should be able to get the engine hoist out of my way and throw a set of heads on here, throw a set of manifolds on here, and see where we're gonna end up. Look at that, looks like a real engine in there and a real crazy dog. This wasn't planned, but I put the thing back the right amount. If I would have went back any farther, it wouldn't have cleared the intake. Look at that. I can't even fit a finger in there. So we got super lucky with that. I mean, yeah, I could beat that with a hammer, you know, but this thing was set up for a carburetor. I don't think this engine was even out when this car was built, so I know everything will fit under the hood because it would fit under the hood of the last car. So that's awesome. It looks like something. Getting excited. If you guys are getting excited, comment. You know, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to hit that like or dislike button, but this is turning into something. It's going to take a while, but we're getting there. Next thing I got to do is get my ladder, dig the manifolds out of the attic. I think we should have no problem, because this side, my plan is to put this one on normal, have it come out like the Holley setup, go under the trans, come up with a V-band, feed it into the back of this one, and then have the turbo sitting wherever we feel like out here. Oh man, what's that? So I don't know if that's the final say, but It's under the hood, because the hood goes up from here. It's gonna have a different grill in the car. I'm going to pick up tomorrow. So it's kind of sort of mounted there. It's just hanging out so I can get a good idea of things. It's kind of exciting.